What's up? Cecil Smith here for Bandana Running. Back with the Nova Blast 2s. It has been a while. I wanted to make another video, but I just haven't had the time for some reason. But I may have an unboxing coming up this week, so I definitely wanted to get my final thoughts on the Nova Blast 2, as well as some of my first impressions, because I didn't do that either. So here we go. Here's an all-in-one. And it's May of 2022. I haven't seen any release dates yet for the Nova Blast 3. I've kind of been holding out for the Nova Blast 3 because I really, really like this shoe. And there is one thing that I did not like about the shoe, but I'll hold on to that for the very end. So let's get into it. What did I like about the shoe? What did I think about the shoe? So first off, when I got the shoe, I had the Nova Blast 1s. And I wore those middle of summer until about September, until I got these. And it was a good shoe, really good shoe. But it had some stability issues. This shoe actually did take care of those issues. I think they widened it a little bit, and I think they fixed some of the cushioning on the sides. The stability issue in that shoe was more like at speed or at running. It wasn't when you're just standing there, and it had a tendency to kind of fall in. And it was all in the back where the stability issues were. This one doesn't have that. I was kind of cautious running with it to start with to make sure that it didn't have those issues, and I did not notice any of those issues. The second thing I noticed about the shoe was just energy return. Everything that the Nova Blast 1 did, this shoe does it better from a running standpoint. And from a design standpoint, I think everything that was maybe a little bit bad about the Nova Blast 1s, you know, right here, this one made up for it. So if you're looking at the shoes, you notice some differences here. One, the back, where the heel is, this one, the Nova Blast 2 has a lot more cushioning back here. So it's a lot softer. The Nova Blast 1s will rub the Achilles a little bit if you have short socks on. I've noticed that. But this one, the Nova Blast 2 with short socks, no issues. You can probably run almost barefoot if you wanted to. Wouldn't advise it, but I mean, if that's your deal, you know, go for it. To me, though, this is an improvement. I wasn't even thinking about it in the Nova Blast 1s, but when I got these on, I was like, wow, that's better. They also gusseted the tongue in this one, so it is attached now. It's about 3/4 of the way up, so about right here is where it attaches. It wasn't attached in the first one, so if that was an issue for you, now it's attached. The other thing, like I said, the energy return is better. The tread is slightly different, and I think they've made this a little bit bigger. It's harder to see now, but I think there was more depth here than in the one, and there was more depth here to start with. Now, I've since worn these shoes. I don't have a good tracking app for some reason. I use the Asics Run Tracker, or Run Keeper, but it duplicates runs because I have it linked to my Garmin device. So whenever a run comes in from the Garmin device, it automatically duplicates the shoe onto it. And I put it on the Garmin as my default, and the Garmin doesn't interact with the Run Keeper, so it should just keep the mileage there. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to add it to all the runs, even though it's my default shoe. So I don't know quite what's going on there. It's somewhere between 100 and 330 miles on the shoe, according to the two apps. I think it's probably closer to 200 to 300 in that range. And my issue is that, you know, whenever a shoe starts to get worn for me, I start to feel it in my knees. So the shoe has gotten a little worn out. Not bad though. And I mean, you can see from there's still plenty of outsole left. You know, the outsole hasn't worn out, but the benefit that this shoe has in its design, where I think it gets a lot of the energy return from, is this hollowed out part gives like a trampoline effect where you kind of land and bounce into it, and then that part, the way it comes together, springs back out and kind of gives you that little extra push. I think you have to hit it, you know, just right. My running style or my foot strike doesn't quite match that. As you can see, a lot of mine's up front, but it also had that design up front as well. Now this is worn out more. I think just, you know, the wear of the shoe, because I run a lot on pavement. I wouldn't run on the shoe in gravel. I think there's still some stability issues there, but you know, it's not the best because the bottom is a little stiff. You don't have a great feel for ground contact. You can still see some of the, you know, the cracks or the, you know, the splits in the sidewalk or the pavement, but it's not a great transmitter of that feel into the foot. So you lose a little bit there. And like I said, I would stay away from, like, you know, like gravel or trail. I don't think this is what this shoe is really designed for. But just running on the concrete, on the pavement, for me, it has kind of pushed that foam down into the ground where you can see the wear now. So it doesn't get quite the trampoline effect in the front. It doesn't have quite the energy return. I don't really feel like I'm plowing in the shoe. It's still a pretty light shoe. I think for a size 9, it's less than 10 ounces. So it's like a 9.5 or 9.7, somewhere in that range. It's not bad. It's not super heavy. To me, this shoe is super versatile. So if you're not looking to have 4 or 5 different shoes in your shoe rotation, if you just only have enough money to get like 1 shoe or maybe 2 shoes, or you're going to hold on to one for a while. Like I said, this one is held up and it can do some speed stuff. It's got the cushion for the recovery if you want to go slow. And like I said, there is an advantage. You know, if you get that, I don't want to say heel strike. I'm not a big advocate for heel striking in any way, shape, or form, because I think that leads to shin splints. But if you do have that natural in your gait where it's not causing you knee problems or shin problems, then yeah, that could be a good, you know, option there, especially long term. But I think it's good for, you know, those recovery type things. If you want to go faster, I think the shoe can give you a little bit of speed just because the energy return is so good, especially for, you know, what's considered a daily trainer. Is it a race shoe? Probably not. You know, but it's a good shoe. Like it's probably my favorite running shoe that I had. And if I had the option to get, you know, like a Nova Blast 3 or something else, I would go for the 3 right now. Like if it was out there, I would try to get it. Now the only thing is, you know, we're a year in, I believe on the 2s already. And I got in on the 2 quick. The Nova Blast ones, I waited till it went on discount because of the things I had heard about the shoe, the stability issues. It was different. It was kind of a crazy design. This one kind of amps up the crazy a little bit. And that's probably my one drawback on the shoe, is just, you know, the look of the shoe overall. This isn't something that you would probably throw on with a pair of shorts or something and just walk around in. It's not a bad looking shoe, but, you know, this colorway is way out there. I think, yeah, I wanted something different. Probably won't do that again. I'm just going to make that statement now. I should have went with either the all black or the gray, the kind of milder colorway. This one's pretty far out there, and I think it's still probably the most far out. I like it. It's fun to run in though. It doesn't bother me to run in. I don't really care what I look like when I run, so I don't care what I look like most of the time. If you couldn't tell, but for the price point in the shoe, it's still $130 in May of 2022. So it's stayed up there. The Nova Blast ones are like a 110. They're still kind of out there. The pandemic has played havoc on the shoe market, on the supply of shoes. And, you know, you kind of got what you got. And I think it's slowed down the development or what they're pushing out. I think their focus was really on their high-end racing shoes first, the stuff where they have, you know, the high margin or the most impact, most visibility, you know, for pros that are going to run in the shoe. I think they're pushing those first. And the ones that are kind of, you know, the daily trainer, those types of things, the meat and potatoes is kind of next. And then you have these like neat shoes that if you're a first-time runner, I wouldn't suggest going out and getting the Nova Blast 2s as your first shoe. You know, try something else. But this is a shoe you want to build up to just to get used to running, because there's a lot of functionality and stuff in here. And I don't say you won't appreciate it, but maybe something simpler first, just so you do appreciate everything that's kind of in this one, and you don't feel put out. It's a lot of money to spend just for a running shoe if you don't have, you know, the technique or, you know, the training and stuff down yet. I wouldn't go with this as my first shoe. But the price hasn't come down yet. It hasn't hit that drop off yet. If you get an opportunity to buy it for less than, you know, 110 or something, I would. I've waited for the 3. I would love to have the 3 and run into the 3 this summer. It is cool. It does have good ventilation on the top. Some people said they don't like the design for the upper where you can see through. It's a little awkward looking, I guess. But that's why I think like the all black would have been nice, because it's like a black and white. So it's a nice little looking design on that one, I thought. This one with the orange underneath, it's a little different. But if you could get the shoe for less than 110, yeah, great shoe to get, even if you are starting out. For me, I waited, and I debated between getting another 2 or, you know, going with like a Mach 4 or something like that. But I'm really not a huge fan of the Hokas right now, just because my experience with them. I've tried them twice. They're good. They're a good shoe. Just like Asics is putting a lot of foam in the shoe now. So the thing that Hoka did do better than anybody else, other companies are kind of catching up to them now with the max foam trainers and stuff. You know, my personal opinion. They haven't done anything to really differentiate themselves. Now the Mach 4, people really seem to like those. Those are getting really positive reviews. And I had a pair on. They felt a little stiff. Didn't run in them or anything like that. So I don't have any type of input on how the shoe functioned, but you know, they got the rocker in them. Just, you know, it's not the shoe for me. I'm an Asics guy. I bought into Asics. That's what I'm going to run in. I think so. I'm not going to switch up at this point. I think most people get what they like, and I've tried. Brooks isn't bad. I like Brooks. I could go back to Brooks. I could go back to a Ghost if I wanted to. It just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of innovation in the Ghost. It just, you know, they're meat and potato shoe. But I'm going to try the Magic Speed next, which is supposed to be like if you took a Nova Blast and you put a carbon plate in it. Now, it was $150. They've dropped it to $109. So I scooped those up. I was like, it's worth a shot to me at that price. And if I can, you know, race some 5Ks in them, then awesome. Even if the shoe's not great, even if it's not like the Nova Blast 2 at all, which I have heard some stuff that it may not be. But for me, Nova Blast 2 was a great shoe. Like, I'm looking forward to the 3. And I debated, you know, going to something a little bit different or going back to the 2. That's how good the shoe was. I've not bought any shoe duplicate. The only shoes that I've thought of buy a duplicate because they were so good was the Nimbus 22 Lights. I really like that shoe. And this one, the Nova Blast 2. And I also debated going to the Light 2s because they're still out. They haven't made the upgrade on those ones yet either. So I think that's just all supply chain type stuff. And hopefully things loosen up here a little bit. I know inflation is crazy right now. That's probably going to slow things up some more. But when it does come out, I am looking forward to the 3. I probably will try the 3. I do have a birthday in September. So if they do come out, I'll probably get a pair. But I wanted to try the Magic Speed. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know. But when you're out there, be careful, be safe, and if you have the opportunity, give the Nova Blast 2 a try. All right, see you later.